I'm Jeff Weber, and you're watching the Taj Longino Show.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome to another special edition of the Taj Longino Show. I'm sitting here with a very special guest, Jeff Weber, who runs the production for the 2017 LA Music Festival.
Thank you very much. Really wonderful to be here. Thank you so much.
Now, tell us about this. What makes this year's music festival so special?
Well, this year we're kind of going big time. We have 18 acts over 3 days. We have an amazing lineup, everybody from Tyrese, Anthony Hamilton, Blackstreet, Tony, you name it. There's a lot of amazing, wonderful music, and we're just proud to be involved.
With all these amazing acts, okay, true R&B acts, but when you turn on the radio, you don't hear real R&B as you heard back in the 90s and the early 2000s. So what's drawing people out to still hear this real R&B when that's not what's popular these days?
The demographic for true R&B is a little older, maybe 25 to 50-year-old, and predominantly female. And so what's happening is radio is forgetting about that demographic. And because it is such a powerful demographic, the outlet for soul music in Los Angeles is much, much larger than anyone would have predicted. These friendly and family and unbelievably amazing acts are still vigorous and vital and performing all over the country. And I think that understanding the demographic here in this part of the world is important because it brings out enthusiastic fans. But again, we're dealing with a little bit of an older crowd, but let me tell you, they can dance and shake. You know what I'm talking about. Just as good as anyone.
Now, give the people a little bit of your background because I think they're going to be a little excited when they hear about the success you've had in your career. They want to ask you something to follow up on.
Well, I've been in the music business for about 40 years. I've done about 200 records. I have multiple Grammys, multiple Grammy nominations, and I produced some amazing talent. Everybody from Nancy Wilson, Chick Corea, the Count Basie Orchestra, Luther Vandross, unbelievable amount of amazingly talented people from all different genres of music. The beautiful part about music is that most people love all different types of music. They're not pigeonholed into one bin or one style of music. That's why music festivals are so successful. So I'm lucky that I get a chance to work with a lot of amazing people. And the way that I operate, which is a little different than a lot of other producers, is I prefer to capture a performance rather than manufacture it. So I have everybody in the studio all at the same time performing, just like what you would see here. Because I think that the conveyance of emotion from the stage to the audience is what promotes a conversion, which is, I'll pay you for this.
Right.
A conversion to dough, right? So the idea is if you give up yourself as a performer emotionally, it's going to be received in the same way by a consumer who is engaged. And the excitement is amazing. I always go back to the fact that music is the only thing that you can listen to multiple times over your entire life and never be tired of that same song. Can't be said about a book or a movie or clothing or food or anything else, but you can, if that song is your jam, you can listen to it 1,000 times and you'll never tire.
Now, what's one of the biggest challenges you face when your second year doing the festival?
This year we have 18 acts. 18 acts, 18 bands. 18 bands, 18 management crews, 18, just an unbelievable assortment of people. The toughest part is managing people's expectations, because when they come for a sound check, they expect everything to be great. When they want to come for the performance, they expect, hey, listen, everything is going to work out just fine. And we're on a time schedule. I happen to run an extremely tight ship because of my respect for the consumer. So an 8 o'clock show starts at 8 o'clock. If you're doing a 50-minute set, it ends in 50 minutes. Why? Because the consumer is the most important person in your band, the person who's listening, because they pay the freight. So I don't know, I bet it's the same for all of us, you and me. When a show is scheduled to start at 8 and finally goes off at 9:15, you're not a happy camper. You know, even if it's somebody that you're wanting to see, you don't want to wait. You don't want to wait because you think that is insulting and being taken advantage of, which it is. An artist has to understand that their career belongs in the hands of those who love their music. And if they think it's all about them, then I feel as a producer of long standing, they really don't understand stuff anymore. And they're out.
40-year experience. What's been the one thing you've seen that has changed within the music industry?
I would have to say technology, because technology allows so many things to happen that we never even considered before. But it's all been driven by society, okay? We have entered into a transition from ownership to access. A younger demographic says, hey man, why do I need to own stuff? As long as I have access to it 24/7, I can have access to any particular type of record instantly. Now, when I said technology, it's because society and the consumers said, hey, listen, guys, if you sell me a 12-song CD, I don't have time to listen to 12 songs anymore, okay? I've got a life. I'm busy. I've got kids, Boy Scout, tennis lessons, you know, whatever it is, I don't have a chance to sit down and listen to 12 songs. Oh, and by the way, that $18 to $20 you want me to spend on that? How is that possible? Oh, the reason why it's not possible is because out of those 12 songs, only 2 of them are good. So, the idea is, give me something that I can listen to that's spectacular. Oh, and the one last thing is, I'll forget you. You do a record this year, you come out with a record next year, I don't know who you are. Why? Because now we have so many opportunities, so many obligations that we're being bombarded with over 1,000 a day. How do you expect me to remember you? So, release less songs, but with greater frequency. So every 90 to 120 days, come out with something fresh, but only 4 songs. So now, if it takes less money to make, it takes less money to sell. So if you're a rock star and I go to your show and you're amazing, and I come back out and I see a CD for $7 or $8, the decision process is a lot less. Oh man, I'm gonna buy one for myself and I'm gonna buy one for my best friend. All right, spending the same amount of money, but psychologically you're not, and especially if they like you. So that's the challenge.
Oh, how did you link up with Airborne?
Mark Douglas and I have been friends for a few years now. We ended up being called by a third party to do a big talent show, and it never happened. But Mark and I remained friends and in contact, and when when he decided that there was an opportunity for true soul music in Los Angeles, he knew that I was in the music end of it and asked me to come and handle production, and I'm honored to be working with him.
Ask everybody this question: with you being a boss, I know you're gonna give
Fried chicken. No.
give everybody a different perspective. Okay, with your experience in the industry, give me 3 keys to success.
Persistence, understanding that validation comes from within, and knowing that the music industry is an art and a craft, and you have to be really good. If people understood how much time and energy and sacrifice and money it takes to be really shitty, then they might have an idea of how much it takes to be really great.
Any last words or anything you want to let the fans know about yourself, about the festivals, about upcoming projects, anything at all?
Just remember that music is our blood. We can't live without it. So respect the performer. Don't try to steal music. And we'll be around and we'll be making music for as long as you're listening.